Good evening, councillors, officers and members of the public gallery. I declare this special council meeting being held on the 7th of November 2022 open at 7 p.m. And I'd like to acknowledge that this meeting is being held on the traditional land of the Noongar people, and we pay our respects to the elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to advise members of the public gallery that this meeting is being audio recorded in accordance with council policy. If you are seeking a public question or making a statement or deputation to the meeting, this will be audio recorded. Members of the public gallery are reminded that no other visual or audio recording of this meeting by any other means is allowed. Move to item 1 on tonight's agenda, which is attendances and apologies. We have one apology from Councillor Morgan Bias. Move to item 2 is public question time. Item 2.1 is public questions. We have not received any public questions in writing, so I will open public questions to the floor and remind the public gallery that the only questions that can be asked at tonight's special council meeting are those in regards to the item on tonight's agenda. So is there any public questions from the floor this evening? There being no public questions from the floor, public question time is concluded at 7:02 p.m. Item 3 is public statement time, of which there is nil. Item 4 is petitions and deputations, of which there is nil. Item 5 is declaration of councillor and officers' interests, of which there is nil. Item 6 is receipt of reports. Item 6.1 reports. 6.1.1 Ward and Representation Review Discussion Paper. Do I have a mover for the motion?
Madam President, I am putting forward an alternate motion as has been distributed to all persons or councillors. Shall I will point out if I could.
Can you please read out the changes that are
in the alternate? Yep, very good. If you look, please. Thank you, Madam President. I will. If you look down on your page, it's been distributed in the bottom half where it says add inserting. Pretty much the change in the first paragraph is by at least. Pretty much, or at least, is the two words that have added there. And the second paragraph, in the last sentence, to no more than, is the other words, that have been added to the second paragraph. So I move this motion, and hopefully there'll be a second.
Thank you, Councillor Strawtons. Do I have a seconder for this motion? Thank you, Councillor D'Agostino. Is there anybody opposed to this motion?
Madam President, I'm not opposed to the motion, but I just wonder if I could ask a question.
Yes, Councillor Coles.
Thanks, Madam President. Through you, I guess to the Manager of Governance. Legally, I know it seems fairly minor, but what does it mean legally for this to be passed?
The passage of this amendment has no bearing on the legal consequences. It's simply a clarification that council can opt to reduce the councillor numbers more than the amount that the minister is proposing under the reform package.
Thank you, Madam President.
Are there any further questions from councillors for this motion? Is there anybody opposed to this motion? Councillor Strawtons, would you like to open debate, please?
Thank you, Madam President. The reason I'm proposing these words to be added is that when I was reading this text that was going out to entice the public for comment, I found this text to be in conflict, to give a feeling of misunderstanding, miscommunication as to what is being sought from the public. So when it states that there will be capped at 9, it sort of stipulates an amount of people, and I think it adds confusion. And when it says in the first paragraph by one member, I think it prescribes that there will be one member reduction. And again, I think it adds confusion. So I simply seek to neutralise this preamble, the introduction to what is being sent out to the public to help them understand. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Straughton. Councillor D'Agostino, would you like to speak or reserve?
I'll reserve. Thanks, Madam President.
Thank you, Councillor D'Agostino. I'm speaking against this motion this evening because, in my view, the discussion paper that we are here to review and send out for community consultation is non-compliant. And I don't believe that we should be putting out a discussion paper that is non-compliant. Thank you. Is there any other council that would like to speak for the motion? Councillor Straughton, would you like to close, please?
Thank you, Madam President. Absolutely, this is a bit of a tightrope to walk with wording to make sure it is compliant, and that is indicated certainly partly through the to and fro emails today. But the part that I'm proposing here, I'm very confident is compliant because I've finalised this text in close consultation with the CEO and the Manager of Governance. So I'm quite confident that this aspect is very compliant. So I'd like to put it forward to a vote. Thank you.
Madam President, could I just ask a question before we go to?
I'm sorry, Councillor D'Agostino. Councillor Straughton has closed the debate, so we can't have any further questions. All those in favour?
Sorry, Madam President, point of order. Can we seek some clarification on that? Why would a councillor be stopped from asking a question? And I was going to ask the same, well, not the same question, I don't know the question that Councillor D'Agostino asked, but I think in the interest of democracy, accountability and transparency, Madam President, I think it's quite important because there's a question that's on the tip of my lips as well, and I don't know if it's the same question that Councillor D'Agostino is going to ask, but when a councillor says that the amended motion is not proper and is, I can't remember the term that was used, it was not legal or words to that effect. I think it's really important that all councillors have that confirmed by the Manager of Governance, because I certainly don't want to be sitting in this place voting on a motion that you, in your own words, is saying is not proper. So I think we need some clarification on that, please.
Madam President. Item number 10.21 of the standing orders, point D says, once a right of reply has been taken, there can be no further discussion nor any other amendment to the original motion or the motion as amended immediately to vote. So we would interpret no further discussion to be any questions.
Well, could we seek a point of clarification then?
Well, I think the presiding members made the ruling. That's the presiding member's call.
So that's correct, Madam President. You've ruled.
Yes, Councillor D'Agostino, I've ruled. Councillor Straughton has closed the debate. And under our standing orders, there is to be no further discussion and a vote to be taken.
Sorry, Madam President, I'd like to ask a question.
Councillor Coles, there is no further questions, given that the closing has been made by Councillor Stroughton.
Okay, I am concerned, and you have said in your opposition to this motion that it's wrong.
Councillor Coles.
I'm not going to sit here, Madam President, I just, how can I vote on something that when you're saying it's not legal? Was that the term that you used?
No.
Surely the CEO and the manager of governance can clarify what the advice they've given to Councillor Strawton's today.
Councillors, you are all aware of what the standing orders are. You are all given the same opportunity as all councillors around this table. The debate has been closed by Councillor Strawton's. There is no further discussion before the vote is taken on this item because the debate has been closed.
Could I clarify if you're proposing an alternative motion if this motion is lost?
I have not proposed an alternate motion, Councillor D'Agostino. So we are at the point of taking this motion to the vote. All those in favour of the alternate motion put forward by Councillor Strawton's that we have before us, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you. All those against? 2, 3. Thank you. Motion is carried 5-3. Can we please have the votes recorded, Minute Secretary?
Councillor Stroughton, we also will need a reason for the difference from the officer recommendation for the minutes as well, please.
Thank you, CEO. Yeah, just to make the introductory text more compatible with the purpose of the document. Purpose. Yep.
That word, Councillor.
Yes, I agree with that text. Thank you, CEO.
Item 7 on tonight's agenda of motions of which notice has been given, of which there is nil. Item.
Madam President, I'd like to move an urgent motion.
Councillor Coles, what is?
My urgent motion is a motion of no confidence in the presiding member.
Under our standing orders 3.12, councillor may move a motion of urgent business be considered and it cannot wait, requires a presiding member's support and a resolution. Motion of dissent on president's ruling is permitted. Councillor Coles, I actually do not consider what you've put forward to be urgent business at tonight's special council meeting.
Thank you, Madam President.
Madam President, can I put forward an urgent motion, please? That the CEO and manager of governance confirm what advice was given to Councillor Strawton's today in relation to the topic discussed tonight.
Councillor D'Agostino, I don't believe that is urgent business, given that there has been an email trail that has gone backwards and forwards today, which all councillors have had the opportunity to read.
I beg to differ, which is why I proposed it. So is there any discretion or you can simply rule?
Councillor D'Agostino, under urgent business 3.12, Councillor a councillor may move motion that urgent business be considered and it cannot wait, requires the presiding member's support and a resolution. Motion of dissent on presiding member's ruling is permitted. There has been an email trail today. Councillor Strawtons has sent in his alternate motion and request to the Manager of Governance and the CEO, which all councillors have been included in the email trail. There has been emails from Councillor Duggan in regards to exactly the same item and points that have come up in the alternate motion. I don't think there is any clarification needed with the advice given where Councillor Strawtons has put forward his motion and it has been accepted by council.
Madam President, I'd like to raise a point of order persuasion to section 12.6 of the standing orders.
Councillor Coles, what would you like to raise this item in regards to?
So 12.6 on page 29 of the model local laws, and I read from that paragraph. It says ruling of the person presiding disagreed with, effective motion. The motion that the ruling of the person presiding be disagreed with, if carried, causes a ruling of the person presiding about which this motion was moved to have no effect and for the meeting to proceed accordingly. I would look at that objectively and say that we have a councillor who's asked for a motion to be put forward. The presiding member, as the Shire President, has made a decision that that will not happen. So I'm now using 12.6 of our standing orders to say that we now vote on whether your decision should be disagreed with. If it is then the case that it should be disagreed with, then that motion should be alive and be put forward.
Thank you, Councillor Coles.
Madam President, can I just ask which motion Councillor Coles is referring to? Because there was two motions, just so I'm clear, please.
The second one, Mr. CEO, the one that Councillor D'Agostino tried to put forward, which I think was couched in the terms of a motion that the CEO and the Manager of Governance provide advice as to whether the motion that Councillor Strawtons has put forward is in fact a proper motion. And I can't remember the term that was used, whether it was incomplete or not
Councillor
proper.
Coles, that was actually not the motion that Councillor D'Agostino put forward. What he asked for was a information from the CEO and the Manager of Governance to the advice provided to Councillor Strawtons today in regards to the rewording of the motion that he put up as an alternate motion this evening.
I'm happy with that. I'm happy to second if you're moving it, Madam President.
I am not moving that, Councillor Coles. Councillor Coles, is that what you wish to move?
I'll defer back to Councillor D'Agostino because he's the councillor that wanted to move that before he was told he wasn't allowed to.
Yeah, yes, that's correct. Sorry, I should have written down what, but that the gist of what I'm asking is that the CEO and the Manager of Governance confirm their advice provided that presumably the resolution provided alternative resolution tabled by Councillor Strawtons was in order, contrary to the advice provided by itself.
Councillors, Councillor Coles has raised a point of order under item 12.6. Councillor Coles, are you moving that point of order?
Yes, Madam President, I am. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder for that point of order?
Sorry, Madam President, just a question there, just to clarify for my own purpose. What's being moved here is that your decision as to whether this is urgent business is being disagreed with. Is that
Yes,
what we are
That
doing
is
now?
what we are discussing now.
Thank you.
Councillor D'Agostino, are you happy to second? Is there anybody opposed to this motion? Councillor Coles, would you like to open?
Thank you, Madam President. What I will say from the outset, I think I was sitting in this place some 5 years ago. And at that time, the current presiding member gave I'll use the term deputation, about why that person wanted to be the Shire president and be the presiding member. At that time, and my memory isn't as good as it used to be, but the words, the effect of we're all the same, we're all equal, and it's democracy, and it's all about democracy, you know, for the people, by the people, and words to that effect. So here we have a situation where tonight a motion's been amended, a motion's been put forward. I asked the question because I certainly don't want to debate or pass a motion that I think is wrong, whether it's at law wrong or whether there's some inconsistencies or some damages to be caused by passing a motion that's not accurate. So I asked that question. The presiding member then made a statement, and I'll have to go back and listen to the recording because I should have made notes, but it was words to the effect of that it's incomplete, it's not right, words to that effect. I'm trying to remember what was said. I don't know if any of my fellow councillors can remember exactly the term that was used. But in any event, it is wrong to pass a motion if there's any conjecture about the accuracy or the legitimacy of that motion. So what this is now doing is allowing a motion to be put up. I'll stop talking. So am I right to proceed? Yeah. Just for the tape, the CEO and the Shire President were talking, so I thought it was rude for me to continue to talk. As I said, so against that background, we now have the standing orders there as a tool, as a way to ensure good governance, to ensure good decision making. To make a decision tonight after someone has made a comment that the motion that's been passed is not accurate, is incomplete, or words to that effect is wrong. So I have used the powers that we have under the standing orders being 12.6 to enable a motion to be put forward by a fellow councillor who wants some clarification on a motion that has been passed. This is a very important motion. This is a motion that is so important. A fellow councillor made a comment 2 weeks ago that the staff had written a thorough report as seen in the agenda, a report so thorough that they knew what they were talking about and we should listen to them. That's the comment that was made. So here we are as councillors trying to do the best by the community, trying to do the best for democracy, trying to do something that's potentially going to have a massive change in the way that we govern our residents and ratepayers in this Shire. We are talking about a popularly elected president. We are talking about reducing the number of councillors. How can we sit here and discuss something, pass a motion when someone turns around and says it's not right, it's not accurate, it's not the right advice given today? This is a way that we can confirm that, because I do not want to be associated with a council that makes decisions that are poor. I do not want to be associated with a council that makes decisions when there's people in the room that know the decision that we are making is poor. Yes, we're all different. Yes, there are 9 of us. Yes, we all have our own opinions, our own backgrounds, etc. But we need to make decisions that are lawfully sound. We need to make decisions that are democratically sound, and we need to make decisions on the betterment of our ratepayers. So I commend 12.6, allow the decision of the presiding member to be disagreed with, and for the motion to be put forward as foreshadowed by Councillor D'Agostino to actually find out what the advice is. If the advice that we've been given shows that the amended motion is wrong, then we can revoke that motion. We need to do things in order, we need to do things properly, we need to do things lawfully.
Thank you, Councillor Coles. All those in favour of the point of order motion that Councillor Coles has put forward?
Madam President, just a question
Yes,
quickly.
Councillor Strange.
I am mindful of the timeliness of this paper and the timeframes we've been given from the department in terms of meeting those. In terms of this motion and its effect on ultimately meeting timeframes, could I please have it clarified as to the delay here tonight and whether that will mean that we can't meet the timeframes that the minister has provided.
Councillor Strange, it is my understanding that Councillor Coles has called a point of order under section 12.6 of the standing orders that the presiding member is disagreed with. For the point of the urgent business that Councillor D'Agostino tried to raise, which is for councillors to be supplied with the advice that Councillor Stroughton's was given today in regards to the alternate wording that he has put forward in the alternate motion, which has been supported by council this evening. That is what Councillor D'Agostino stated earlier in this meeting. So my understanding is that it would not have any effect on the timing because council has made its decision on the item that was on tonight's agenda. Councillor D'Agostino, if the motion that Councillor Coles has put forward is supported, would put forward a motion asking for that information that he asked for previous be provided to councillors, which would be in the form of the emails that all councillors have a copy of that were responded to by the CEO in the course of today.
So I guess just a follow-up question then, if the councillors upon receiving that advice are no longer happy with the resolution that's been provided, it would then be a step to revoke the decision tonight?
If councillors wish to, yes. Yes, thank you, Councillor Atwell.
My question is, if this motion was revoked, what are the consequences in time? When would the next available time be to actually discuss this matter or to vote on it?
Madam President, you can call a special council meeting at any time under the Act, and 3 councillors can call a special council meeting at any time under the Act. So it could be considered at any time that was legislatively possible to do.
Which is what I was asking is how long would that take?
Well, it would need the production of an agenda if that was needed, and distribution of that and notification of councillors to attend.
Thank you.
Sorry, Madam President, can I ask a question?
Yes, Councillor Coles.
Thinking outside the square, if this 12.6 is passed, then Councillor D'Agostino's motion is then passed. Could then we not, under urgent business, move to revoke the decision we've made tonight and then pass the officer's recommendation? We could do it all tonight.
Councillor Coles, I don't think so because the officers would need time to actually receive the revocation notice from councillors. They would then need to be able to go away and produce an agenda for the special council meeting.
Sorry, Madam President, I'm pretty sure that's not the case. The research I've done in the past when I've revoked a motion about the library was all it would require is a mover, 2 seconders. That motion would then become revoked, and then we could then move the officer's recommendation. I'm not a scholar of the Local Government Act 1995, but I have had experience in revocation motions.
Councillor Coles, you have a live motion on the table under 12.6 of the standing orders, which, if supported by council, would give Councillor D'Agostino the ability to put a motion to request the CEO and the Manager of Governance to provide the advice provided to Councillor D'Agostino in regards to the rewording of the motion that is contained in the alternate motion that he put forward this evening. Councillor Coles, the CEO and the Manager of Governance will need time to produce that information and provide to Councillor D'Agostino and other councillors as per the motion that I would assume that Councillor D'Agostino will put. So to try and rush through what you are suggesting this evening is not appropriate.
Thank you, Madam President. If I can, I respectfully disagree. And I think the whole point here is it's a very discreet point about us making a decision that's legal and lawful. That's all I'll say.
Councillor Coles, we have a live motion. You are getting into debate outside of the standing orders. I will call for the vote on this.
That's a question.
Councillor D'Agostino?
Just because it's obviously goes to another issue, and I don't know if we need to play the tape back. Can you clarify what wording was something to the effect of the motion was contrary to the law or something? What was your wording?
Council has made a decision on the item, Councillor D'Agostino. Once Councillor Strawton's closed debate, there is no further questions on the item. It has been supported by the majority of council, so that is now the resolution of council. Councillor Atwell, please. All those in favour of the motion put forward by Councillor Coles? 1, 2, 3. All those against? 2, 3. Motion is lost. 3-5. There being no urgent business, item 9 on tonight's agenda is closure, and I declare this special council meeting closed at 7:31 p.m. Thank you, councillors, officers and public gallery for your attendance this evening.